All right, Coach. First up is going to be Dwayne Rankin with the Arizona Republic, followed by Kellen Olson.
Coach, this is one that, obviously it got out of hand in the second quarter, and you guys fell down huge. What'd you say to the guys in the locker room after a game like that?
Well, I won't give you all that, but I think to your point, it got out of hand in the first quarter. We scored 15 points, and 29 isn't a terrible number, but we were on course to give up a 30-point quarter to start, almost a 40 in the second, and 36 in the third. So defensively, we just didn't give ourselves a chance tonight. Unfortunately, those games happen. For whatever reason, we looked a bit tired. And, I think a lot of teams are fighting that, but we looked a bit tired, and two, the ball did not pop the way that it did the other day in Indianapolis. And, once we commit to the style of play that all of us are accustomed to and really love, nights like this can happen. And they shot the heck out of the ball, especially in the first three quarters. So our guys know it. They felt it at halftime that we just weren't playing our style, and give Washington credit. I thought they played harder than us, more consistently. And that's not something that we've been accustomed to.
And you've talked before just about how once you walk in the room, you're hearing dialogue and, okay, guys are going over it. Was that still going on? Was the mood a little bit like, I guess, what was the mood?
No, it was a bit more somber tonight, because I think that's the first time that we just couldn't get it back consistently. And so I think our guys understood that we didn't play well, but they also understood that we didn't necessarily play our style, which is together on offense and defensively. I don't think we helped each other a ton tonight. And they played, they're the number one team in pace, and they showed that tonight. They were moving around, flying around, coming off screens, knocking down shots, and we're playing out of the net. And then we got in foul trouble. That always throws your rhythm off and your rotation. So wasn't a ton of talking tonight like we've seen. This is just one of those stinkers that you want to flush and hurry up and get back on the floor. But we as a group collectively have to understand what works for us.
Next is Kellen Olson with Arizona Sports, and then Brendan Klein.
Monty, the numbers in the first quarter offensively have been down comparatively this season, and it continued again tonight. What are you seeing from that, and what do you attribute that to specifically?
Probably familiarity as far as lineups are concerned, and it's something that I got to take a deep look at and see if, it's not worth a discussion on a number of things, but that group has not played well. I think before the Indiana game, it was not rated as a really good group, but I don't think they've had a ton of time to gel and to know what to expect or to know how to play off of each other. So it's something that I gotta, maybe make an adjustment. And, ultimately I got to do what's best for the team. And it may, mean I have to look at it enough and discuss it enough where we have to make some type of change. But it doesn't matter what change you make. If you're not sharing the ball and playing hard consistently, which has been our formula, I mean, you can put a lot of groups out there. It's just not going to work.
This is Brendan Klein with Bright Side of the Sun, followed by Christos Saltis.
I'm so tired of adjusting my mask, man. I feel like I'm become real good at it.
Hey, Coach, I just wanted to ask, the Clippers game was somewhat similar to this one in that the early deficit came, but in that game we saw the guys respond and cut it. So you explained why you thought the lead or the deficit happened, but why do you think we didn't necessarily see it? Because you did mention how guys kind of felt it at halftime. So
Yeah.
what didn't happen?
We tried. I just didn't think we had the pop tonight for whatever reason. We tried to rest the guys yesterday. We tried to take a break this morning to preserve our legs. We've been traveling. You could come up with all kinds of reasons. It just wasn't there. And it didn't mean we didn't want it, because I believe we have a resilient group. We've shown that already this year. When Washington came out in the third quarter, man, they hit shots right out the gate, and our level of defense just wasn't where it needed to be. And so I wish I had a better answer for you to give you something to write, but it just wasn't there the way that it was in the Clipper game, and we didn't show the same resilience that we did in Indiana.
Next is Christos Saltis with Sport DNA in Greece, followed by Sam Amick.
Hello, Coach. I would like to ask you how good lesson about the rest of the season was the tonight's game for your team, and also how could you describe the last 6 minutes of the first quarter?
Well, yeah, it's a great lesson for us, Christos. I mean, obviously, one thing for us is we have to play past our first action or first pass. When we go one pass shot or one action shot, one, it's just not a formula that you can sustain, and two, we don't work the defense. And so that's something that, we've done here since I've been here, and it's worked well for us. As far as the last 6 minutes of the first quarter, I would imagine that it was pretty poor. I haven't looked at the film yet, but my feeling, just remembering it just wasn't great in many respects.
Next is Sam Amick with The Athletic, and then the final question will be Dwayne Rankin.
Hi, Monty. Great to see you. Hope you and the family are hanging in okay.
Hey, Sam.
I wonder, you made the quick comment about your mask, and in general, you and your team have been playing well, obviously managing these extraordinary circumstances very well. But how do you feel overall about your players' ability and your own ability to kind of deal with the unprecedented from a human standpoint? And are you comfortable with the league's decision to try to forge ahead and continue to deal with all the various absences that are happening all over the league?
Gosh, it was a lot, Sam. I mean, right off the top of my head, am I comfortable? I mean, I have immense, great trust in what the league is trying to do. I really do. At the same time, we're not in a bubble anymore, and so that's a bit different than what we experienced in Orlando. And it's nobody's fault. It's just we're not in a bubble anymore. And so I just know I have to do my part, and our team has done a really good job. I've seen our guys staying in the hotel and going downstairs to the rooms we have set up for them, or the hotels have set up for them, just to, have some camaraderie and see somebody else. And so
right.
I'm not quite sure if I'm going to say anything that's going to be helpful. I just know the league is trying, but we're facing something that's never been seen in our history of the world. Not by my recollection. I know there's been Spanish flus and different things that have happened, but our generation, we've never seen this. And so you couple that with some of the social stuff, political stuff, and then you got your own personal stuff. It can add a lot to your plate. And so I commend the league for what they're trying to do.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's about all I got to say, bro.
As a quick follow, coaching wise, how challenging is it to communicate with the mask? You see coaches all over the league.
Nobody can hear me. It is just, it is the, I'm trying to get a call out there and the players can't hear. I'm sure the referees love it because they can't hear us acting like silly knuckleheads on the side, trying to get a call or talk about what's going on. But the thing I have a problem with is that they just can't hear me, and
right.
It's just that it's an adjustment. But it's not like, nobody's going off to war, or anything like that. It's just an adjustment that's different.
Right.
And, I wish there was a different type of mask that allowed for your voice to project, because that's the
Right.
toughest thing is just your players can't hear you. Even when you try to call out a play or the coaches are calling out plays from the side, I don't even think the players hear us. I think they just hear a bunch of noise.
Right. Thanks, Monty.
Yep.
Final question is Dwayne Rankin with the Arizona Republic.
Yeah, Coach. You just said earlier about this is one to just flush, but I also know just from being around you for this last year and a half or so that you're eager to get back on the court, practice court, and figure out and make adjustments and move to the next one. So I'm just curious, what will tomorrow be like for you and for this team, knowing what happened tonight and what's coming up with a little homestand here coming up next game against Atlanta?
It's a good time for us. We've won some games. We've shown a certain formula that allows us to be productive and play well. And so for me, it's like I can't wait to teach and show, and hopefully our guys are, ready for that, and they have been this year. But we got a long flight back home, and so it's going to be a huge. Here I am again, adjusting my mask. It's going to be a huge challenge for us to try to get into the gym tomorrow. A lot will depend on how fast we can get back home. But either way, we're going to have to teach and show film as to how we play and how we can't play. And I think those are the moments during the season that allow for you to really grow your team, because we've shown a pattern. Detroit threw a zone at us, and we didn't handle that as well as we could have. But for the most part, we missed a ton of shots. Indiana, we played like we were trying to prove something, and we played our style, 33 assists, 3 turnovers. Like, I think it was some type of record. And then tonight, that wasn't the kind of basketball that we play all year long. And unfortunately, you have 2 or 3 of those during the course of a season. So I'm anxious to get back in our gym and show our guys, and I know they want to do the same.
Coach.
Did you say thank you, Coach? I can leave?
All good. Thank you, Coach.
Okay, thanks.